Okay, once again, good morning, good afternoon, grade 7. This is we're talking about waves today, the fourth module of the second quarter and its properties. Before we're going to start, let me ask you a question. And anyone is free to answer this question. Why are we able to see? Think of your answer. And let me call someone who are turning off their camera to answer this question. So those who are turning off their cameras, I will call you to answer this question. No, I think it's fair to those who are turning on their camera. Uy, ang dami na nagtuturn on ng camera ah. Effective. Effective tayo ah. No, so seriously speaking, let me ask this question. Can I ask Jeremiah to give me an answer? Although you're turning on your camera, Jeremiah, but allow me to ask you, what is your opinion on this question? Why are we able to see? I'll give you a clue. We cannot see in the night. During the night, we cannot see, right? But why can we see during the day? In short, why are we able to see?
Because there is light.
Very good. And that is really what I'm trying to fish out from you. Because there is light. And light is a wave of photons. Photons are a particle of light, shall I say, no? And it also travels in waves. Do not always assume that waves are seen on an ocean or in a sea, but waves can also be a property to light. The second question is this one. What is light? Since light is a wave and light allows us to see, then what is light? Rohan. This question goes to you, Rohan. What is light? Clue. I already gave the answer. Light is a blank. Supply the missing word.
Wave.
Very good. We can see because there is light. And what is light? Light is a wave. It's a simple explanation to that question, class. And I just want you to answer like these in an essay question in your summative test in Edmodo. Do not just fish out answers from Google and then copy paste it in Edmodo. Just simple answers will be appreciated. Last question, let me call in Jasper. Jasper raised the hand. And Jasper is not listening. So what is a wave, Jasper? If you don't have an audio, you can type your answer. So far, there's no response from Jasper. Jasper? Hello, Jasper? How about Chloe? What is a wave?
Yes, let's just be honest. I haven't seen Trisha since Philin. One time she tried to join the class on her camera.
I'll give you a picture clue so that you'll be guided. This one. What is a wave?
The output that Tina and Trisha submitted for research project was also, I have to be honest.
Another clue. If there is no teacher, then this will happen to the class. There is a wave.
But did they give you the chance to provide corrections?
Most of the students are energetic when there's a teacher. When the teacher is not around.
They did not.
So you'll stand and you will sit down. You'll stand and you'll sit down.
Hey, namek
It's a wave.
disturbance.
Wow. The answer is given by, who is that? Elijah, when in fact I call Chloe. Thank you, Elijah. The answer is when there is a disturbance which carries an energy, then wave happens. And this disturbance travels from one place to another. Okay, and that is all of the and that is the definition of a wave, even if it is a light wave, a sound wave, an electromagnetic wave, a mechanical wave. It is a disturbance which carries the energy. Huh? Wave does not carry matter, but matter goes through it. Or let's put it this way: wave travels in matter. It will not carry the matter itself, but a wave goes on that said matter. Will it? It could be a gas. It could be a liquid, or it could be a solid. With the three states of matter. And even in a plasma, there's also a wave in that said plasma. An example of which is a solar wave, which is composed of plasma, which is the fourth state of matter. Where can you find the solar wave? You can have it. You can find it in the sun. Some waves do not need matter as a medium. They can travel through space. An example of which is the solar waves, which travels through space. It doesn't need any matter at all because in space, there's no air. These waves can travel through in the atmosphere as well through the ionosphere, which is the second to the last layer of the atmosphere that covers the Earth. And these waves are called electromagnetic waves, or we can shorten it as EM waves. Some waves needs the medium. Example, sound waves needs a medium. And these waves are what we call mechanical waves. So these are just simply FYIs of waves class. But the main content of our discussion this afternoon is the three types of waves. What is the first type of wave that is in your module, Angel?
Transverse wave, longitudinal wave, and
I think there are only two in your module. Sorry to mention that. The third one is surface waves. It's the combination of transverse and longitudinal. The presence of both defines the surface waves. The first one is transverse waves class. Transverse waves travels through a medium in a single direction, parallel direction, no? And it moves at a right angle. Transverse waves can be drawn as a simple illustration as this one. No? And these transverse waves will create an up-down motion of the particles. It could be the particles of light, the particles of water. This is a transverse wave. And the properties of a transverse wave has the crest, the trough, and the amplitude. Together with that is the wavelength. The definition of each will be in the next slides to come. So this is an illustration of a transverse wave. Para ba siyang result ng electrocardiogram, yung EKG na nasa hospital, mga ganun. So that's a transverse wave class. So here is a further illustration of a transverse wave. If this is the initial position of the rope or the particles, if you will create a disturbance of the particles in a straight line, creating a right angle movement, then this will be the likes of the particles then. It goes up and down perpendicular to the initial position. And I did say the parts of the waves class. The parts of a transverse wave, we have the crest and the trough. The crest is the maximum point to where the wave will reach. The trough is the lowest point to where the wave will reach as well. One crest to one crest is equal to one wavelength. Again, one crest here, crest to crest is equal to one wavelength. If you're going to base that from The trough, one trough to another trough is also equal to one wavelength. Or if you go with the middle values, that could be the term here is in the amplitude. If this is the initial position of your particles, the height of the trough or crest rather that it reaches, or the depth of the trough as it reaches, is one amplitude. Amplitude. Amplitude determines how high the frequency of your wave is. The higher the amplitude, the higher the frequency. Where can you mostly see an amplitude class? Where can you mostly touch an amplitude? It can be seen in some gadgets in your house. The term there is amplifier. So you can move up and down the amplifier. Are you fond of music or whatever? Are you familiar with an amplifier? No, sir. Never mind. Okay, the second type of wave, according to Angel, is compressional wave, also known as longitudinal wave. The other term for compression wave is longitudinal wave. In your module, I have it there, the term longitudinal wave. If waves in a transverse wave moves at a right angle to the horizontal, compressional wave moves parallel to the horizontal. They move back and forth to the horizontal, and that is compression wave. You can usually see a compression wave as illustrated by a spring. Have you played a magic spring before? There's an area nga murag nagdikit, and there's an area that is being stretched. If you're going to move back and forth the spring, you'll then see the compression wave there. The area which is being compressed is the compression area, and then the area which is being stretched is the rarefaction area or rarefaction. Napulol ako doon Rarefaction. Again, the area with the particles which are closer to each other is the area of compression. The particles that are actually far from each other is the area of rarefaction, which is noted by a small letter C and letter R in the illustration class. From the distance of one compression to another compression, that's one wavelength. Or the distance of one rarefaction to another rarefaction, that is also one wavelength. Much like the same with crest to crest or trough to trough. In a compression wave, or in a longitudinal wave, the distance between one compression to another is one wavelength. And then the distance from one rarefaction to another rarefaction, that is one wavelength. If we look at it in a structure using particles, this will be the looks of it, class. Ano yung dagway? Compression, the particles are closer to each other. Rarefaction, the particles are at a distance from each other. So here are the parts of a longitudinal wave or compressional wave. The first part is the compression that you can see a while ago. The compression is where the particles are close to each other. And the rarefaction, where the particles are close to each other, are spread apart from each other. So another figure of a compression and rarefaction in a longitudinal wave, which is this one. The one with more dark spots, that's the compression area. And with the smaller spots of black ink is the rarefaction area. When you talk about surface waves, class, this is the presence of the two waves, compressional and transverse, or longitudinal and transverse waves. Okay? There's really a great disturbance if the two waves are present. Where can you mostly see or feel a surface wave? Or let me rephrase my question. What natural phenomenon where you can experience a surface wave? It happened in Bohol last October 15, 2013. Yes, Charles. Your answer is?
Earthquake?
Very good. You can feel, thank you, Charles, and surface waves when there is an earthquake. There's a combination of transverse and compression. No? There is this movement of the earth up and down. There's also this movement of the ground back and forth. So maglibog na kagada, murag si Charles karon, no? Ganaana na si Charles. So you can feel the surface wave during an earthquake. Okay? Let's proceed with the properties of wave class. I mentioned already one property a while ago, which is wavelength. Wavelength is the distance between one point to another. As in a transverse wave, the distance between one crest to another crest, or one trough to another trough. If that is a longitudinal wave, that is the distance from one compression to another compression, which is noted by the letter C class. Mura siya ka ng barcode sa department store, no? But you notice the letters on top, C to C is one wavelength, or R to R is also one wavelength. The symbol for wavelength is lambda. And you notice the symbol there? It's like a letter V and not tuwad. That's a Greek letter which is named lambda, spelled Lambda. Lambda. You have a chat from Michaela. Yeah, you can, Michaela. You can turn it off. Okay, let's proceed with the second property of wave. If that is a wavelength, frequency is the measure of one occurrence of a wavelength. No? How many seconds will a wavelength will occur? If one compression to another compression runs for 2 seconds, then that is the frequency of your wavelength. Frequency of a wavelength is measured in the unit 1/second or hertz. Again, the frequency of a wavelength is measured in 1/second. This is the unit of frequency class. 1/second, which is also termed Hz, which is taken from the proponent of this term, Heinrich Hertz. I think it's not in your module, no? I hope the spelling of Heinrich Hertz is present here in the module, in the PowerPoint. If not, we will Google it later. So unit of frequency is 1/hertz or 1/second or hertz. Frequency is the time it will require for one wavelength to occur. No? The meaning of 1/s is one wavelength per one every second. Let me erase that part. So the higher the frequency class, the more the energy is the more the energy carried from that said wave. The higher the frequency, the more energy is carried by that said wave. So for example, there are 10 waves in every second versus 1,000 waves per 1 second versus 1,000,000 waves per 1 second. So that is represented by 10 hertz, 1,000 hertz, and 1,000,000 hertz. Spell hertz, H-E-R-T-Z. Capital H na siya class, supposed to be. Capital H-E-R-T-Z. The third property of wave is amplitude. I also draw this a while ago, class. Amplitude is the distance of the horizon rather, to the crest, or from the horizon to the trough. And that is how high or how low the wave gets to travel. And that is termed amplitude. How far the medium goes from the rest position. So from the horizon to the crest, or from the horizon to the trough, or to the trough. Remember that in a compressional waves or in a transverse waves, the highest point is the crest and the lowest point in the trough. What about in the compression waves class? In the compression wave, the points where the medium is close to each other are the compressions, and the particles or the particles that are spread apart are the rarefaction. The highest energy goes in the compression, the lowest energy goes in the rarefaction. If it is in a If the compression stage is the normal state of the spring, then the rarefaction goes with the higher energy, the compression goes with the lower energy. Okay? But in most cases, the compression goes with the higher energy, and then the rarefaction goes with the lesser energy. Here's the explanation of what I just said, class. The closer the particles are, the larger the amplitude. So the closer the compression, going to the compression, the higher the energy it carries, which is the larger amplitude. That is for compressional or longitudinal waves. The energy of a certain wave can be mechanically computed as, with the formula, energy equals C times A to the power of 2, where C is the constant of the formula, which depends on the medium. That if it is in the air, the constant motion of the wave is, or rather, if it is a light, the constant speed of light as a wave is 3.0 times 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. So there's a specific constant for a certain medium being traveled by the said wave. And then A is amplitude. So for example, if the amplitude is 3 units, we assume that C is equal to 1. So the energy is 1 times 3 squared from the formula 1 C times A squared. If the constant of value or constant in the formula is not given, let's assume that it is equal to 1. So we have 1 times 3 squared is equal to 9. So the energy there is 9 units or 9 joules. The unit of energy is joules, or you can have it as calories, depending on the nature of the energy. Then if it is the wave particles, we'll use joules. If it is talking about the digestive system, the unit of energy is calories. The higher the energy, as I said, the greater the amplitude there is. So if you notice there, the amplitude doubles as the energy quadruples, let's say. So if the if the amplitude increases, the energy is raised to the power of 2, which is having the formula A squared. So when the amplitude is doubled, the energy is quadrupled. This is what I just mentioned a while ago, class. When the amplitude is doubled, the energy is quadrupled. When the energy is 10 times greater, the amplitude is 100 times greater. The second bullet there is supposed to be class. If the energy is 10 times greater, the amplitude is 100 times greater. Wave speed, this is the one that I am going to have in the formula because this is part of your module. Wave speed has the formula frequency times the wavelength, right? When wave speed depends on the medium still, it varies from solid, liquid to gas. Question, for a sound, which of the medium is sound travels faster, solid, liquid, or gas? It is not part of your module, but I would just like to get an information from you guys if you know the answer. Which of the three medium is sound travels faster? According to Chloe, solid, and the answer is solid. Sound travels faster in solid, slower in liquid, and then slowest in gas. Whereas for light travels faster in gas, slow in liquid, and I don't know if that solid is dependent on the nature of it. If it is transparent, then light can pass through. If it is opaque or opaque, then light cannot travel through the said solid. Wave speed can be mathematically computed with the formula wavelength times frequency. What is the symbol for wavelength? The lambda symbol. Frequency is letter F. Wavelength is supposed to be in meters. Take note of that. Frequency is in hertz or 1/second. So the formula there goes with velocity is equal to F times lambda. Frequency for F, lambda for velocity. The symbol for lambda, class, is like that. Ana. Or ana. Baba. Na. So that's the symbol for lambda, which is going to represent wavelength. So let's try a problem. Problem goes like this. If a wave has a wavelength of 2 meters and a frequency of 500 hertz, what is its speed? If a wavelength has 2 meters, so the distance between one crest to another crest is 2 meters, and the frequency is 500 hertz, which means there are 500 wavelengths in every second. What is the speed of the wavelength or wave? What is the speed of the wave? Anyone can chat the answers or they can unmute themselves.
If you cannot show me your answer, I will not give you extra points.
Now someone said an answer. Jonard answered.
Each correct answer here will be given.
Jonard answered without a unit. So there we go again. Velocity should contain a unit. Give me a unit.
Something like this will happen on
Sosud Shamil, give me a unit, Shamil.
Thursday.
Your answer should contain a unit, class. We are talking about speed. So what is the unit for speed? Meters per blank. Ayun, Jeremiah, Elijah, Shane, Shamil, Janessa, Kira. Shamil, there's something wrong with your unit, Shamil. It should not be per. In your case, it should not be per. Just per, it should not be per. Just per. The unit here is meters per second or meter hertz. Okay? So for example, this problem, let's solve the speed. The speed is equal to 2 meters times 500 hertz. So the answer is 1,000 meters per second. If you don't like that unit, if you wish to use the unit hertz, so you can have the answer 1,000 meters hertz. So wala man mo divide, you multiply man mo. But since hertz is equal to 1/second, I said a while ago, so therefore that is meters per 1/second or meters per second. It is. Ayun. I don't know if you have here in your module class, but allow me to mention the letter T, which is period. If this will come out, then be prepared with this one. Period is equal to the inverse of frequency. Therefore, if the period is given, then the formula for velocity is lambda divided by period. Again, I don't know if this will come out. If I mistakenly write period instead of frequency, then the formula that we're going to use is divide the wavelength or lambda by the value of your period, because period is equal to 1/f, or the reciprocal of period is frequency. The reciprocal of frequency is 1/period. The unit of period is seconds. Ayun. So it's like if the problem goes like this, you have here, what is the speed of the wave, which is 5 meters in 2 seconds. So the 2 seconds, there is the period. You notice that the frequency is given if the unit is hertz. But if the unit is seconds, you notice already the period. So you have to divide the value. 5 divided by 2. So your answer is 2.5 meters per second. We have a chat from Clara. Yeah, Clara, it's fine, Clara. It's fine, Clara. Anyway, this is recorded, so you can review the. Hopefully, I can post this in YouTube class. Let me erase the following. There are also ways in which wave behaves. In your module, how does behave waves? How does behave waves? How does wave behave? What is wrong with you, Sir Jet? No? The first behavior of wave is wave tends to be reflected. Let us look at an example as in a light. Light can bounce from a certain surface. Example of that surface is a mirror. If a surface is flat, then the angle of the reflection is equal to the angle of incidence. In this PowerPoint presentation, the term given is angle in equals angle out. That is the law of reflection. So how will you draw the law of reflection, class? This is going to be used by you perhaps if you're going to get older, though I don't know if the girls will do this one, but for the boys, if you're going to play billiards, you can apply the law of reflection. Let's say this is a flat surface, and then you have here a light wave. If a light enters in this flat surface, the angle of incidence will also be the same as the angle of reflection. So that's the law of reflection, class. If the angle of incidence is 30 degrees, then the angle of reflection is also 30 degrees. If the flat surface is bounced by a light with a so steep angle, say this is the angle of incidence at 80 degrees, then the angle of reflection is also 80 degrees. So that is the law of reflection. Angle in is equal to angle out. Question? We have a chat from Elijah. So it will bounce, sir. The bouncing of wave is reflection. So it will bounce, yes. Okay. Any other concern? So the bouncing of wave particles is called reflection. Sound waves can also bounce, right? And what incidents can you say that sound waves will bounce? Liam and Lian. When you hear your own, you shout in the cave. You shout in a cave. What happens there? Your voice will reflect in a form of an echo. And that is the bouncing of sound waves. Now we can, yes, echo is the correct answer. Thank you, Liam and Lian. So all waves bounce. Sound waves, mechanical waves, light waves, infrared waves, gamma rays, X-rays, they all bounce. Waves behaves. The first behavior of wave is they can be reflected. Umulanog po. I bang my table. Sorry, Chelsea. I bang my table. Okay, next. I did like that to the table, so that's why in lanog. Next, behavior of wave. Wave can be refracted. Waves can bend. The bending of wave is known as refraction. This is the difference. This is a different word from the compressional wave, which is rarefaction, class. This is refraction. This happens when the angle of incidence slightly changes when it enters as a different medium. So from a gas, it will enter a liquid, then the light there tends to bend the image of the said picture or the said medium. The best example for refraction is by the time you're going to put a pencil in a certain what happened? Here, class, if you put a pencil in a glass of water, the pencil somehow breaks. And that is refraction. The bending of the wave particles as it enters a different medium. So for example, this is this is the area for gas, this is the area for liquid. If a particle enters the medium which is liquid, it will slightly be being bent. Either it will be bent towards or away from the angle of incidence. This is probably the reason for some swimmers, like no offense to them, the badjao, they can catch your coin even if you're going to toss it with a great initial velocity. If it enters the water, it will just simply change its motion because there's a distortion of the wave particles there as it will be bent. So that is refraction. That is another example that can be associated with the behavior of wave, which is refraction. The next one is not found in your module, I suppose. But we have the third behavior of a wave, which is diffraction. The bending of sound waves around an object. Example. If you have here, can you see the red or I'll use white? Red na lang.
Okay.
If you have a wave here, like the wave from the sea, as it is going to hit an obstacle, this wave will be diffracted. As it enters another obstacle, this wave will be diffracted. So there's a distortion of the waves as it will hit an obstacle, then the wave patterns will change and the behavior or rather the motion of the particles will decrease, or will increase depending on the obstacle, if it is large or small obstacle. So if the obstacle is large, the wavelengths will be diffracted. There's a low diffraction. But if the obstacle is small, there's a large diffraction. As a wave enters an obstacle, then the particles of that wave will be diffracted. That is diffraction. If there is a certain obstacle, that is diffraction. There are ways in which we can change or nullify the wave class. For example, there's what we call as the wave addition and wave subtraction. If you have a certain wave that is on a single direction, and if you add a wave which is on the same direction, then it will multiply the wave. It will extend, it will increase the frequency of the wave if they are on the same direction. But if there's a greater wave that is being met with a smaller wave, then the greater wave will be subtracted with its frequency. So muna siya ma-affected kung magbangga ang ka wave. But if two equal waves met at a certain point, what will happen is they will nullify each other. Okay, that is also one of the explanations on the law of incidence and reflection for wave behaviors. Questions? So if you look at your module class, you only have a few activities there. Some of the terminologies are not present in the module. I hope you are taking down notes, like the diffraction, which is not part of your module. Maybe I failed to indicate it there. And also the formula for velocity, which is lambda divided by period, or V over T. So we have here some problems that you need to answer. For activity 1, just simply supply the correct information, and for activity 2, find the velocity given the following frequency. Just show it with, you can use a calculator even if you would like to, because these are the simple values with the same formula in each. Can I add, never mind, we just have to include an additional problem when we check your module on Thursday of the following, this coming Thursday for the checking part. Clarifications. You understand the lesson for today? I hope so. I hope so. Good job. So that would be all for our discussion then. So we will end the recording.